It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, Toshiba Tec and Toshiba Conglomerate published their second quarter numbers, so we have the first half of FY 2022 for both Toshiba Tec and Toshiba Conglomerate. And ladies and gentlemen, those that have been watching the Toshiba Conglomerate over the last couple of years, we've been watching a mess, haven't we? I mean, it is the most indecisive company I think I've ever seen on the planet. They've had total drama over there for 2 years. They don't know who's going to buy them. The board's been shooken up a couple of different times, and quite honestly, it just seems to be a mess. And then when I look at Toshiba Tec has two groups. They have the printing business group, right? And then they have that retail business group. And I'm excited about the retail business group. Extremely excited about it, folks. And I think the retail business group of Toshiba Tec is really what Toshiba Tec needs to focus on. And when you look at their financials and when you see how they talk about Toshiba Tec, their focus is on the retail group. But here's the sad thing, and my friends that sell, supply, and service Toshiba Print equipment aren't going to like what I'm going to say. But Toshiba Print needs to go away. It's a very, very small player in the global scheme of things regarding print. And here's the reality. Sooner or later, that conglomerate, Toshiba, which owns the majority stake in Toshiba Tec, is going to get sold. And the new buyer is going to put a lot of scrutiny on all of the conglomerate's assets, Toshiba Tec being one of them. And when they look at Toshiba Tec, they're going to get excited about that retail group. I mean, anybody with a brain in their head would get excited about the retail group because they're delivering the future to the present. They're doing amazing things. They have a huge market share in products they sell around giving better experiences to that retail customer. They're doing quite well at it. But then those investors are going to look at this print business and they're going to say, print's declining. They're a small player in the global market. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of this print piece. And let's take the dollars from that sale and invest those dollars in the retail business. But quite honestly, folks, Toshiba Tec would be so much better off if they could get away from the Toshiba Conglomerate. But even if they get away from the Toshiba Conglomerate, they themselves will have to make that decision to sell that print business. And it will be the right decision. And like I said, if you're one of my friends that sells and supplies and services Toshiba Print equipment, you're not too excited about what I'm talking about. But if you face the reality of the marketplace and the decline in the marketplace, you would realize, just like I realized, that Toshiba Print could go away tomorrow and no one would miss it. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that because it's a reality. But folks, those that know me know that I'm a fan of Niccolo Machiavelli. And he was born in the late 1400s. I think it was around 1513 he said this. The princes of his day did not lose their power through misfortune. The princes of his day lost their power through indecisiveness and inaction. And when I look at this Toshiba conglomerate, it's full of indecisiveness, inaction, drama. It seems to be a mess. And currently they have a potential buyer. And folks, now the banks are looking at it thinking, do we really want to make our investment? And so it's not done yet. The check's not written. And what I want to warn all my friends that sell, supply, and service print equipment, Toshiba Print equipment, is this. You better start thinking about it. Think of yourself as the buyer. Put your buyer's hat on, and you're going to go buy Toshiba Tec. And you start studying Toshiba Tec, and you realize the fantastic opportunity in that retail business. Then you start looking at this print business, and you realize, what are you going to grow it to? Are you going to turn a 1.5, billion-dollar print business into 10 billion? No, it's only going to decline more. It's only going to get pressured more. It's only going to get more competitive as the industry declines. So you, like most logical buyers, would determine, let's go ahead and sell off the print business. And ladies and gentlemen, whoever buys that print business, they're not going to buy it to keep it Toshiba. They're going to buy it to get rid of Toshiba. They're going to let it absorb into their other deliverable, whether that's a Ricoh or a Sharp. You know, Sharp bought the Toshiba notebook, changed the name to Dynabook. But, whoever buys that Toshiba print business, they have to buy it to liquidate it, to pull all the cost out of it, to make it make sense. And so there's a lot of things that our industry is going to have to think about, and there's a lot of things that our industry is going to have to go through over these next couple of years. But the pain of consolidation is one of those things they're going to have to go through. And so let me jump on the Sharp Interactive board. I'm going to share my thoughts on the conglomerate. I'm going to share my thoughts on Toshiba Tec. And I'm going to share with you why I'm so damn excited about the Toshiba Tec retail business. So folks, Japan Industrial Partners is the new buyer. The banks are thinking, well, we're not sure. We're not sure we want to make the commitment. Okay? It just seems to be in limbo land still. Total mess. But here's something that happened. So Toshiba publishes their second quarter, and they put out this statement. I want to read it to you. Japan's Toshiba Corp on Friday reported a 75% slump in second quarter operating profit and lowered its full year earnings outlook after logging an appraisal loss for its printing business. After logging an appraisal loss for its printing business, by the way, the impairment charge was $74.1 million US dollars. And so, folks, we need to start thinking about this printing business. Not just Toshiba, okay? All the players need to start thinking about this printing business and some of the pain that's going to be associated as this thing consolidates. But there you go. The majority stakeholder in Toshiba Tec taking a $74.1 million impairment charge against the printing business. Let's look at Toshiba Corporation. Top line revenue for the first half was $11.3 billion with a $19.2 million operating profit. Let's look at that print business for the conglomerate. The print business, and they lumped it together, retail and printing solutions. Top line revenue was $1.8 billion for the first half with an operating profit loss of $32 million. So the conglomerate, as they relate to Toshiba Tec and their majority ownership, they took a $32 million loss in the operating income, and their net sales were $1 billion. But let's look at Toshiba Tec. And folks, like I said, I'm excited about Toshiba Tec as a company with regards to the retail business. I am not excited about Toshiba Tec regarding the print business, and I'm going to share some of those reasons why. So let's break them out into the two groups. So we have the Workplace Solutions group, that's where that print business lives. And for the first half of the year, they did $713.8 million in top-line revenue with an operating profit of $8 million, or 1.1%. So they really struggle kind of making operating profit in this Workplace Solutions business group. It's been that way for a while now. But folks, I want to share a number with you, which I think is going to freak a lot of people out. You know, when you look at the Japanese OEMs, you would think in their domestic market they would be pretty prevalent. They'd be selling a lot of equipment in that domestic market. When you look at Toshiba Print in the domestic market of Japan, for the first half, so think about this, their top line number was $713.8 million. In their domestic market, they did $54.8 million. These are all translated. I translate them to dollars. So think about it. $713 million total revenue, global number for the print business, first half, and they did $54.8 million in the domestic market. Folks, there's dealers here in Americas that eclipse that number by quite a bit in their marketplace. I'm just thinking that just seems like a very, very low number, and it just seems to me like they're not really interested in growing that number in the domestic market. They haven't really been able to grow it in any other market, and it's kind of been flat, right? But let's look at this retail group, because this is extremely exciting to me. Retail, first half, $1,036 million top line revenue, $35.3 million in operating profit, 3.3%. And folks, here's something very, very interesting. Let's look at the domestic market for the retail business for Toshiba Tec. In Japan, the domestic market, $541.4 million. $541.4 million, basically over half of the amount of revenue that they're getting in the globe is coming out of the domestic market. $318.4 million in the Americas. So it's a strong business in Americas. It's a strong business in the domestic market. But here's the greatest thing about the retail business. It's a business that's the future. It only can go up. It's not going to go down. It's going to go up. It's about innovation. It's about making retail experiences better for end users. It's definitely about the future. Print, it's not about the future. Quite honestly, I believe it's this print business which kind of drags down that retail business, if you will. So something's got to give. Look at the operating profit. If you took that, let's just say that it was 3.3% for all the different marketplaces, which it kind of drives me crazy that the OEMs don't specify the operating profit for the different marketplaces, but they talk about the revenue. But let's just assume that it's at 3.3%. That would give them, 6.8 million in operating profit out of the U.S. market on the $318.4 million. So it's pretty exciting, right? If you look at the operating profit, it was the same, that 1.1% in the Americas. On 305 million, they're looking at 3.3 million in operating profit. So we're doing much better in the retail space. The retail space is all about growth. The print space is all about decline. Folks, let's be honest. There's no way in the world that Toshiba Tec Print is going to just beat some other OEM at their game. And they're going to take away all this business from some other OEM. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen, and I think the industry needs to prepare themselves for that. But let's talk about this retail business group. They're doing some interesting things. So they built this incubation hub. They're in Frisco, Texas, and that's not all they're building. They're just in this innovation hub, if you will. But folks, I want to read something to you. So they're talking about their Elria, and folks, they're doing all kinds of things around the smart shopping cart. They do the cashierless registers. They're doing some things around the food business and how the customer experiences paying for food at restaurants. Recently I was in Philadelphia at the airport, and they have a lot of these, devices where you go up there, you order food, you pay all right there. They're trying to give that user a faster, better experience. Now, I know a lot of the baby boomers, they want the waitress to come up and bother you and all that stuff, or the waiter. But most of the people in the world, they just want to get up there, order their food, pay for their food, eat their food, and get the hell out of the way. So there's a place for this technology. And Toshiba Tec and the retail group has figured this out. But folks, I want to read this when they talked about this expansion in Texas. Let me just read this to you. Toshiba's retail division opens innovation and incubation hub in Frisco, Texas. Expanded footprint accelerates the company's growth strategy around ILRA, innovation, and cloud development while broadening venture capital investment. Toshiba Tec, they're pursuing venture capital, private equity investment. Folks, they're pursuing it, right? One of the reasons they need to get away from that conglomerate. But when those investors show up and they start scrutinizing Toshiba Tec, again, they're going to get all excited about this retail stuff. It's Star Wars stuff. It's the future. They're not going to get excited about the print stuff. They're doing some interesting things right now in this retail group. And it has to do with a company called Digital Garage, of course, Toshiba Tec, and Kakiku, and kakiku.com. And it's really around a better experience in retail restaurants. And folks, this is interesting stuff. And they have a huge market share in the domestic market, as I just showed you. It's gaining momentum globally. And I think Toshiba Tec is they're so far ahead of everybody else around this retail enhancements, around giving retail better experiences, that they could really have a big run in this space. I really, truly believe they can. And I'm gonna do y'all a favor, and I'm gonna study more about this, because I'm really excited about this Toshiba retail business group. Extremely excited about it. I just think they're doing some things that are extremely interesting, and I think they could make for some great episodes. So I'll do you all that favor, and I will dig into this a little bit deeper. But the point of today's video is a couple of things. The Toshiba Conglomerate, they're a mess, and they got to get fixed. They got to get bought. Okay? Otherwise, they're going to end up selling on the auction. They need some action going on over there. Toshiba Tec has a great future in the retail business. But everybody involved with Toshiba Tec Print has to realize, are they really going to invest in that declining marketplace? Or do they want to get out of that declining marketplace and go all in on retail? I'm hoping and I'm suggesting they go all in on retail. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll never know until it happens. But everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.